You know what? I'm loving so many people are here this morning.
Yeah,
Love that.
Because some conversations I have with people and they're like, oh, really? That really happened to you? And I'm like, what bubble are you living in?
It actually doesn't have a positive effect on the body.
They know that they don't know and still won't go out and find the information.
What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations. 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers that's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that team, I've reached out, not the team, not me, the team has reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. So as always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Let me take a sip of water. Yeah, I've been noticing this week that I haven't been drinking, I would say I haven't been drinking enough water, but I've been doing a lot of sharing and talking this weekend. After a while, I said, no, my throat is getting dry, my mouth is getting dry, so we're okay. So looking forward to it. Actually, this is the first Friday of February, African History Month. They call that African History Month. So we're looking forward to it. Let me just put it out there. African history is every day, not just one day. I know some people call it Black History Month. I like to say African History Month because it starts from Africa. So that is good. I do not think Ryan's going to be with us today. I've not heard from him, but the show goes on. And let's see what's going on in the chat. Fitness IQ says, Morning, Fitness IQ. Hope you and your family are fine and safe. What's been going on this week for people who are chimed in live? What's been going on? Actually, I had a really interesting story I'd like to chat about. Was this Wednesday? Yeah, on Wednesday, I went to a retailer. I will not give their name because they're not paying me to do it. So I have a membership card from this organization, and there's different tiers of memberships. And I was just going to see if I had to renew my membership. Okay, no problem. Went to a service person at the desk and I say, oh, why do you have this membership? And I'm going, why are you asking that? And she goes, well, you know what? For you to benefit from this membership, you need to spend like $3,000 a year to get any benefits from it. And I go, well, I don't see myself spending $3,000 a year. And she said, no. What you need to do is what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the level of your membership and I'm going to refund the money to you. I said, oh, okay, very nice. Now, she could have just said, renew the membership, etc., but she actually saw what my spending habits were at this store or the chain. Because, no, this card here, and Wayne Harris will appreciate this, that she said that you are not getting the benefits that this card is supposed to give you because you're not spending enough. And she said, well, what do you buy? I says, well, I won't say I buy low value items, not low value, but regular items that don't cost it, no big purchases on a regular basis. I said, no. So let me refund your money and put you down, your membership down a level so that you are getting the best benefits out of your membership. What? That is phenomenal. That doesn't happen regularly. Like, can you believe that? An employee of a store giving money back to me. My goodness. Now, the nice thing is, and if I say this, you may know what store it is. She's been a member of this retail company since 2005. Cool. I said to her, you know what? I thank you so much. And I asked her, where's your supervisor? She goes, why? She says, well, yeah, because I want to compliment you, give you a compliment. She said, oh, well, she just went walking by there. I said, hold on a minute. So there's Dr. Vibe running this person down, her supervisor, probably freaking out. And I go, I said, are you the supervisor? Yes. I just want to tell you that so-and-so gave me great customer service. Well, thank you. No problem. And I went back to the person, the service associate says, yeah, it's done. She goes, oh, thank you. She almost was in tears that someone did that. That's just me. Excuse me, in regards to if you get great service, because many a time when we have bad service, we yell and scream about it. But when you get great service, compliment the person who gave you that service. And if you want to go the extra mile, if they have a supervisor or manager, there goes the water again, that's available, tell them. It would mean the world to that employee that they get compliments. So just a little story from this week in the world of Dr. Vibe. JJ Mars, good morning, JJ Mars. Good Friday morning. Hope you are doing fine and safe. How is our weather in Colorado? We are not bad temperature here. Oh, JJ Mars adds, it's always wise to negotiate, if possible, with any merchant or membership you have. It's a good point. Like, I just took it that just renew, but it was this service representative was telling me. So very good point. So if you have any memberships out there, check to see that you're getting the full value. If not, negotiate or say, hey, you know what? I want better deal. If not, I'm taking my business elsewhere. The power of the consumer. Really, really important. So I like that. Thank you, JJ Mars. Yeah, getting back in Toronto, Greater Toronto area. We've sort of we've had a lot of snow, but not a big snowstorm. We're seeming to get regular snows and cold. One of the things I'm dealing with right now is my driveway is sort of icy. So I went to a place last night to see if I could, and it's funny, went in this place and went down the aisle. And funny enough, I went to this place early in this week and they had salt. And I went, so okay, go get some salt. The salt was all gone. And then I saw a guy stocking shelves. There was my cart. He goes, no salt. And I go, how do you know that? He goes, I could just tell by the look on your face. We haven't had salt. We've been sold out of salt for the last 2 or 3 days. No problem. So I went around the corner to another retailer, got my salt. So one of the things I'm going to be doing today, not going outside much, but putting some salt on the driveway because there's some icy spots. Like there's snow, and underneath the snow, there's ice. So it's very devious. You're walking out there and you can just go, whoop, go for a flip. So JG Mar says, very cold weather coming soon. We're not supposed to get colder, but we have snow coming again, allegedly tomorrow night, Saturday evening, overnight. Oh, which means Sunday is the Super Bowl. So is anyone watching the Super Bowl? And if you are, who are you picking to win? Do you have a team you'd like to win? I don't know if actually, I don't even know if I'm going to be watching it because believe it or not, well, I probably during the second half of the Super Bowl, I'll be doing a live show, Black Men Can Talk. So I won't be able to watch the whole thing. And I don't even know if I'm going to sit and watch the whole thing. As I go on in this thing called life, the sports thing, watching live sports doesn't really do it for me. I'll definitely watch replays online or something like that. But does anyone have any skin in the game, whether just cheering wise or betting wise, etc.? Which is another thing too. How much, especially millennial men, are spending on sports betting? Whoa! I'm telling you, it's coming a little bit of a potential epidemic. What's being spent on sports betting, which is a whole other conversation, but we'll just get into it. I'll get in lightly, especially from the U.S. betting sites. You notice that a lot of the people who are doing spokes representing their promos online or on TV are Black men. No, that's maybe some things that our friend Wayne Harris, just some things. I know he's got some other things he wants to chat about, but there's some things I'd like to ask him, and you should ask him too. So that is it for the Morning Vibe warm-up. We are going to take a break, and coming back as always. Oh, let's see. JJ Mar says, probably will not watch it, but hope Philly will win. Yeah, with the Super Bowl, I don't really care who wins. Like Kansas City's won 3. Hey, it'd be great if they could win 3. If they win 3 in a row, great, historic, all right. Philly, I think Philly. Well, I believe Philly's a better team overall. But there's something special about seeing Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and the crew win 3 in a row. That would be very cool to see something like that in my lifetime. But I don't really care who wins, to be honest with you. I think it's really interesting to see what Kendrick Lamar's performance at halftime. Will he be doing any diss songs? Hello, Minnie on Cam. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you are fine and safe, Minnie on Cam. All right, now we're going to go to break because we got some family here. So we'll be back in about 30 seconds. We will have Wayne Harris on, coming on with Financial First Fridays, chatting a number of conversation topics, and maybe I'll be able to slide 1 or 2 of those in. So we'll be back in about 30 seconds. Talking, where Black Canadians give their takes, POVs, and insights on local, provincial, national, international conversations. Cesar Nadima Musa. What is up, Cesar?
Hi, Dr. Vibe. Thanks for having me. And it jeopardizes your ability to sustain yourself financially.
40 programs have been suspended due to the drop in revenue.
We see this happening over and over again throughout history.
What does that tell you about America? Yes, and you will catch that live this Sunday, pretty much. So I'm pretty sure Cesar is going to be with me this Sunday. Last Sunday, we had Perry Douglas talking about 47 being a narcissist. So you may want to catch that replay. So go to the YouTube or Facebook channel. The Dr. Vibe Show has a lot of views. Wonder why? That's a whole other conversation. All right, before we bring Rain up, let's go through some regular business. Please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Also, please like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Feel free to email me at dr.vibe@vibeshow.com. Advertise your business, product, or service on the show. Please feel free to email me at dr.vibe@vibeshow.com. Cannot forget Indie Soup Media. Indie Soup TV, that is a platform driven by our good friend Dr. Tachi in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. About 30 independent content creators. And in, 9 months now, over 22,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So there's the YouTube information. There's the website information. And then coming up on Monday's show, myself and Ryan, I'm speaking, he's going to be back, is Carolyn Nicole, certified holistic nutritionist, and she is going to be rocking on Monday because whenever she comes on, people go crazy. She's going to be talking about how to have a healthy heart physically and mentally. Since this is the heart month, the Valentine's Day month, we said let's chat about that. So that is what's coming, and there's a number of conversations coming up next week. I could tell them you now, but subscribe to the YouTube channel, especially, or the Facebook channel, and you'll get updated. I'm doing something Tuesday. Is it Tuesday and Wednesday evening? I'm supposed to go to an event on Wednesday. I'm probably not going to go to it now, but hey, that's life. Let's get to Wayne Harris. Mr. Wayne Harris is in the house. It is first Friday of February. How are you, my brother? How are you? Look at brother, loving. Hey, what's the thing with the sweater game? I saw some posts with you. I saw the sweater game.
It's cold out there, Dr. Vibe. Cold.
Oh, come on. Montreal is colder than this.
Listen, I've become a lightweight. I'm living out here in the 905. You know, I've become soft in my suburban lifestyle.
Well, always great to see you. And I want to say congratulations to your daughter.
Yeah, she's doing big things out there.
Share with the family. I saw some interesting stuff about your dear daughter.
Yeah, she's one of the, I guess, poster people for Black History Month at McMaster in her program of Masters of Biomedical Engineering and Engineering Science. So she's doing her thing out there. And hey, you can be Black and you can be female and you can be in engineering and research. And she's offering her support to be a mentor because she was mentored to get into her program. So she's, doing a 360 and giving it right back.
Nice. And rest of the family is good. And did you and Angie receive some sort of award? I saw a lot of pictures of you and Angie.
Yes, yes, yes. So we're the back-to-back brokers of the year for
Jeez.
Eastern Canada. So we're doing our thing, making it happen.
Congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations.
thank you for giving me a platform to be able to help the family.
Well, you know what? It's my pleasure and more. It's my pleasure and more. I, it's just it's not good to know you. It's great to know you.
Thank you,
It's just,
Doctor.
it's not good to know you. It's great to know you. So anything I can do to help Wayne Harris and his family, because I know that it doesn't just stop with the Harris family. It's always bigger than the Harris family. So I really
Each one teach one. That's what we're doing.
well, there you go. Good foundational piece. All right. I was going to ask you about how financing has looked so far this year, but hey, this will probably tie into what you wanted to share. One of the two things you want to share about today, RRSPs. So definitely for our Canadian family. For those who are not familiar, can you explain what an RSP is and how it works?
Yeah, RRSP is a registered savings plan that provides a facility that the Canadian government allows you to save money and not pay tax on the money while the money is in the registered investment. So there are non-registered investments which are open. These are your cryptos and your stock trading and so on. And then there are two registered programs. There's the RRSP, Registered Retirement Savings Plan, and there's a tax-free savings account, which is the TFSA. There's a third one that was invented in 2023 called the First Time Homeowner Savings Account. So you have three buckets of registered money, and when the money is registered, that means you can name a beneficiary and the money can transfer to the beneficiary without a lot of delay. There's still going to be delay if the money is in an investment account or a bank because it becomes a part of your estate. And once it's a part of your estate and you make more than $50,000 in this province of Ontario, it goes to probate, where you have to pay 1.5% of your estate value to the government for the privilege of dying an Ontarian, regardless of where you die in the world. But you can avoid those by having your registered accounts and your non-registered accounts, running them through an insurance company rather than running them through a bank. And no shade on banks. I use banks. Banks are great for checking accounts and savings accounts and for changing your US money into Canadian dollars, which is a great time to do some of that now because the Canadian dollar is at a 20-year historic low. And if you have US dollars, you're going to make buku on the exchange to your Canadian money. So think about it. If you have debt out there and you have US dollars kicking around, you're going to get a kick in the right direction to translate that US money to Canadian so you can go and pay your debt. And there's no tax to convert money. One of the few things that we don't pay taxes on.
Okay, so Fitness IQ Cam says, "Morning, Mr. Wayne Harris." Okay,
More than
and
money.
Minnie says, while RSP that are not segregated funds avoid probate. I don't understand that clearly. Do you understand clearly what's being said there?
I believe that she's saying that big RSPs that are in a bank or in an investment firm like a Wealthsimple or PC Financial, whatever Canadian tool you're using, that's in a bank, it's a part of your estate. Segregated funds are segregated from your estate, so they avoid probate, they avoid taxes, and they avoid the delay of having to settle the estate before people can get their money because the beneficiary in a segregated fund is in the first position to receive the funds tax-free, creditor protected, bypassing probate. But if you do the exact same thing in a bank, the government is in first position, creditors are in second position, and then your family or whoever your named beneficiary is in third position.
Whoa. Oh, that's some knowledge right there. That's probably something that not the general public knows.
Trust me, I did not know that before 8 years ago. And that's when I got my license and studied, and I went, well, why would anybody do this at a bank? Knowing that, we all assume people are going to die, in their 80s and 90s and beyond, but people die in their 50s, people die in their 30s, people die in their 20s. And if you have things sitting in your estate, the estate has to be satisfied and settled before many of those payouts can be done. Then the fact that you have a named beneficiary means that we know where the money is going, which is great, but we still have to pay the first and second positions before that money can be allocated.
Okay.
It could take months or years for the estate to settle, especially if it's being contested by family members who thought they should be in the estate and are not in the estate, and wives or people who are separated but not divorced. And we have a lot of that in our community where
Mhm.
you're living with your new partner, but you haven't divorced your old partner, and you haven't updated the beneficiaries on your work insurance and your work RRSP and so on and so forth. And you happen to be driving in the wrong part of town at the wrong time, and you're gone in that accident. The person you're living with will be bypassed, and the person who's on the documents, which is your ex, will receive all the money, and she or he is remarried and has a new family and maybe not even live in Ontario, but they're going to receive the money because you didn't update your beneficiaries. It's a big deal. I see hundreds of thousands of dollars going to the wrong people because
Wow.
beneficiaries are not updated.
Wow. So then, what are the key benefits from your lens of contributing to an RSP?
Okay, so first and foremost, RSP is tax deferred, not tax free. It means we're old enough to remember the Fram oil filter commercial. It says you can pay me now or you can pay me later.
Pay me later.
Right?
Oh my! You're dropping. Oh my God! Go on.
Right?
Go on.
So the RSP is you don't have to pay me now the tax. You pay me the tax later. So that's tax deferred. Now the difference between tax deferred and tax free is I never pay tax ever again. Tax deferred is I'm not going to pay tax now, but I'm going to pay tax at age 71 when the RSP has to be collapsed and becomes a RRIF, which is a registered retirement income fund. So understand, open an RSP, open it with an insurance company, not a bank. When you put the money in the insurance company, it will reduce your taxable income, okay, depending on your marginal tax bracket. I was in the 53.53% tax bracket when I left my T4, America W2 income, and became an independent broker. While I was a T4 employee, every day I worked between January 1st and June 18th, every penny went to taxes. The money went to myself and my family from June 19th to December 31st. I want you to think about that. That's a good 6 months plus of every penny going to the government. The government of Canada did not help me prepare the PowerPoints. They did not fly to all the provinces and states I went to. They did not do the presentation, but they made 53.53 cents on every dollar that I made. People will argue, well, you have healthcare, you have roads and parks, and where I live is relatively safe. I appreciate all those things, but I don't believe that it takes 53.53% of my income to accomplish those things. Okay? So tax deferral. You can only open up an RSP when you're 18 years old. You cannot open it as a minor, and you have to shut it down and transfer it or convert it to a registered retirement income fund at age 71. So the last day of the year when you turn 71, that's when you must convert it to a RRIF. And what a RRIF means is that the government is saying, you avoided tax for all these years from 18 to 71. Now we're going to force you to take out a percentage of that money every year by law so we can tax you because you've been getting away without paying tax for all these years. And when that money comes in, if you are making too much money from your existing work pension, your Canada pension plan, and your old age security, it will step on your old age security. And after paying into old age security from 18 to 65, it will step on that and reduce your old age security when that money comes in and increases your income, because you might still be in too high a tax bracket because you did too well as a Canadian during the time that you were working between 18 and 65.
Ouch.
Yes.
Yeah. So then what's the difference between an RSP and a TFSA, a tax-free savings account?
All right. First, before that, I want to address that my contact information is the Calendly has been shut down.
Okay.
Which is why I didn't mention it in my bio.
Okay. No problem.
A good slip of the tongue. So
All right, that's okay.
WayneHarrisConsulting.com is where you can book me
Okay, I'll
for.
change that and update that in real time.
Right. So I've got 3 meetings, 30 minutes online, 60 minutes in person, and an onboarding, which is really my wife's link to help with the administrivia of working with me and getting you all set up and getting the paperwork together.
100%. Thanks for the update.
No worries. So again, RRSP, don't pay taxes now, pay tax later. TFSA, money has already been taxed, pay tax never. Okay? Pay tax never. The other thing I want you to think about is something called successor ownership. One of the benefits of being married is that if you have a registered account, you can have, rather than your spouse being the beneficiary, your spouse can be a successor owner. What does that mean? It means that if one spouse were to pass away, the remaining spouse would have 2 tax-free savings accounts. Their deceased spouses and theirs. And they would get the limit on the TFSA for both accounts. So you would have 2 TFSAs until you pass away, and the money goes to your beneficiary. So we want to make sure that why would you want to lose a TFSA? Because you have to collapse it when the person dies. Well, rather than collapsing it, you can have 2 TFSAs. Husband and wife, whoever's remaining, keeps both TFSAs. It's a kind of a cool move that you can do that.
Go ahead.
The third bucket is a first-time homeowner savings account. So back in the day, we only had the RRSP in the 60s until the TFSA came out in 2009, and the first-time homeowner savings account came out in 2023. The first-time homeowner savings account is designed strictly for buying a house, but it also reduces your taxable income because it gives you a tax deduction for investing in this plan. And you can put $8,000 a year for 5 years, giving you $40,000 to put towards a down payment on a home. The good news is on the first-time homeowners is that, let's say in 2025 you don't have the full $8,000. You can put $100 into the first-time homeowner savings account for 2025, and it will hold your ability to put $7,900 into it up until the end of 2026. So you can put $16,000 over 2 years, but you can't go backwards in a year. Once you miss a year, you've lost that year forever. So in 2023, when it came out, if you didn't open one, you never get 2023 back. You have 24 and 25. Okay.
That's good. We got some comments here. So first up, Minion Cam says, only 2 major banks in Canada sell segregated funds, which are BMO and RBC. And then she made this comment, then FHSSA is a blend of both. This is not my jam, so maybe Wayne can help me. And then
Sure.
If you want to comment on that, or I can go to more comments.
Let me address Minion Cam's first-time homeowners. The first-time homeowners acts just like the RRSP in terms of tax deferral and tax deduction. The difference is the RRSP can be used for anything. The first-time homeowner savings account is only to be used as a down payment on a home.
Okay, good. Fitness IQ Cam says TFSA pay tax never as long as there are any foreign stocks ETF with dividends. And then Minion Cam says Fitness IQ Cam, and it's not for day trading. But then Fitness IQ Cam has a good question, says successor only for married folks. What about common law folks?
Yeah, one of the benefits of having the ring.
Okay, so it doesn't apply to common law folks at all.
You might be able to pull that in Quebec where you have a legal agreement with your common law partner, but if you have no legal agreement, I don't see you getting it.
Okay, all right. So then let me move on to when should someone prioritize RSP versus TFSA and vice versa?
Good question. I think that the RSP is really income related. If you have a low income, you're making 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a year and you're not looking to buy a house, the TFSA is probably your best bet because your tax deduction, you're in too low a marginal tax bracket to really get the full weight and power of the RSP. Usually RSPs, you're making more than $75,000, $80,000 a year. RSP makes sense to bring down your income so you can be taxed at a lower marginal tax bracket. You're making less than that, you're probably better off with a TFSA to do that, and maybe you can use now the first-time homeowner savings account for that. But usually I would stick with the tax-free savings account because your flexibility to remove the money without paying any taxes is legendary with the tax-free savings account. If you have money in a first-time homeowner savings account and you remove it, you remove the shelter of the tax deferral and you bring it into the wild where it will be taxed, and they will have withholding tax on that money when you withdraw it. So for ease of access, if I'm making very low dollars, I'm going to do a tax-free savings account before I do a RSP. But if I'm making more than 75 grand, I should be looking at the RSP unless I have a work pension, because a work pension will take up your RSP room.
Yes.
Some pensions for public sector employees eat 16.9 of the 18% available to put into RSP on an annual basis.
Wow.
So if you put money in the RSP and you have a pension, you might be outside of your window of contribution, and you'll pay tax on every penny until you get that money out of the RRSP.
That's dope information, man. Like when I was back in the work world, that if I'm in the work world right now, right there, that's a knowledge bomb right there, big time.
Yeah, public sector employees should be looking at the first-time homeowner savings account versus the RRSP, unless they weren't working at the government from the time of 18. Let's say between 18 and 25, 26, you were working other places. You may have RRSP room. You can call the CRA and ask them to say, hey, how much room do I have? I've been working for the province of Ontario as a teacher for 25 years, but the first 10 years of my career, I wasn't a teacher. I was working as a waiter. Do I have RSP room? Or I was working as something other than a public sector employee. Do I have room? You probably do have room, and you can probably contribute up to that limit and not get penalized.
Before we go any further, we have to provide recognition that the gentleman you call the Godfather has put a thumbs up and hope you're doing okay.
Good to have you, Ray. Good to have you.
From Jacksonville. Well, I don't know. He may be in. I don't know what. He's a moving vehicle.
He's a man. He's a man of mystery. That guy. He's a man of mystery. The most interesting man in finance.
Yeah, there you go. I like that title. I know he's laughing at that right now. If he's watching live, he likes that tagline. So Fitness IQ says, sadly, many people don't realize that it's not beneficial if you're not making less than $50,000 as an employee. There you go. Mm-hmm. There you go. All right. Then are there any common misconceptions people have about RSPs that you'd like to clear up?
Sure. Some people believe an RSP doesn't make money because if you go to a financial institution, most people who are from our culture, and I've been doing this a while now, are very risk averse with their money. So they're like, I don't want to lose any money. I don't want to lose any money. Do you want to beat inflation? I don't want to lose any money. I said, do you understand that if inflation is 2% and your money is making less than 2%, you're not beating inflation. You're not making any money. I don't want to lose any money. I said, you understand that the United States has the largest capital market and a stock market that's been undefeated over time for the last 70 years.
And still growing still going like it's even when it dipped last week, it went right back up. Even the day of the trade threats, and then it went right back up.
It will dip. It's supposed to dip. What goes up must come down. But over time, the S&P 500, Standard & Poor's 500 largest companies in the United States, and the NASDAQ 100, the 100 tech companies in the United States, those indexes are undefeated over time, 11 and 13% respectively, and they just do what they do. They just cook. So you can get access to the 500 best companies in the United States and the 100 best tech companies in the United States and not pay a large fee and let it cook and make it 13 or 11% with very little pain. Now, if you need the money in 6 months to go buy a house, I don't recommend the stock market. if you need the money, if you're in your 40s and you're going to retire in your 60s, you should be in there all day. The opportunity cost for not being there is massive. You should be there. So what people don't understand is you can put your money into something as conservative as the money market, which is you can't lose money, but you can't make money because it's going to pay 2%, which is about inflation. You can put the money into fixed income, which means you can't lose money, but you're only making 1 or 2% to beat inflation. And this is where when we go in and say, I don't want to lose money, I don't want to lose money, the bank says, giddy up, happy to put you in these very low yield investments.
Where they
and
make
then
money.
offer you a credit card at 19.9 and keep the difference between your 1% that you're making on your GIC and the 19% we're charging you on the credit card. That's how the banks make $3 billion every 3 months.
There you go. Oh, the Macmillan Group says, good morning, gentlemen. I hope folks have their notebooks out. This information that's being given free here is what the wealthy pay top dollar for.
Thank you for that.
And that's coming from Ray McMillan, who's had been in the game for, that's why we call him the Godfather. Let's just leave it at that.
Yes.
That's why we call him the Godfather. Look at this. Elemental notes. What? Happy Friday, everyone. Good morning, Dr. Vibe. Good morning, Mr. Harris. Looking good as always. Are you saying Wayne's looking good? I'm looking good, or both of us? But I want to hear from you. Have not heard from you in a minute.
And listen, she loves the bold black and bald brothers.
Okay, then that's
it's called the 4 Bs, bold black bald brothers. 4 Bs.
I'll need to drop that. I'll need to drop that next time I'm in it on and say I'm the 4 Bs. If I'm sharing from a stage, I'm part of the 4 Bs. I love that. Many on campus, some credit cards are now almost 25%. Holy smokes.
Yeah, credit cards that have loyalty programs or affinity programs. So if you want to collect travel points or movie points, or you're with American Express, you may have credit cards that cost you big money because they're giving you what they consider to be big benefits. So if you know how to use, like if you always fly WestJet and you pay your bill off every month, why not get a WestJet card and get a bunch of points to reduce the amount you're going to pay for travel? If WestJet's your jam, if you use Air Canada, same thing. You can get an Avion card from RBC, which will give you travel and hotel discounts and whatnot. So you decide what your lifestyle is. If you're always going to Canadian Tire because you're a handy person, get a Canadian Tire credit card. If you're always going to Costco, get a Costco credit card. Go where it makes sense for you, where you know you can put enough business through that card and pay it off every month that you can get the benefits of the card without paying the higher interest. The interest rate only matters if you carry a balance. But if you pay that card off, you win. The other thing is the fees on the card. Like I have a card that has a crazy fee, like $800 a year I pay for this card on the fee. But the card gets me lounge access, and I travel a lot. And when I travel, I can go to the lounge. I'm eating for free. I got Wi-Fi. I'm sitting down. I'm chilling. It's great. Also, I get discounts on food and restaurants. I also get discounts on hotels and on travel and get different rewards. So 100%. For me and the lifestyle I have, and plus because I'm running my business, the card and the fee on the card is tax deductible. So I could pay tax, so I could pay the $800 fee and go to the lounge at Pearson. I'll take the fee rather than paying taxes, because I get nothing. Well, I can't say I get nothing in return. I get all the benefits of paying my taxes to the government of Canada, but I prefer the lounge. So I'll keep that card.
So Elma the note says, bah ha 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 ha. She's not going to answer my question, so that's okay. I'm waiting for that phone call. So what age should people start thinking about? Oh, hold on. About withdrawing their RSPs, and what's the best way to do it?
Right. So when you look at withdrawing, you want to look at a couple of things. First time, if you want to withdraw, you can withdraw because you need the money, and there's withholding tax. So they're not going to tax you at your full marginal tax bracket, but if you withdraw $5,000 or less, they're going to hold back 10%. So if you draw $5,000, they'll deposit $4,500 into your account. You draw more than $5,000, they're going to withdraw more, up to 20% of they'll hold back on tax. So you withdraw 10,000, they're going to hold back 2 grand. Okay. Now you can withdraw without paying any penalty or withholding tax if you use the money in the RSP for first-time buyers program to buy a house, put a down payment on a house. Up until last year, the maximum you could withdraw without penalty was $35,000. Now you can withdraw $60,000 from your RSP and not pay any penalty. The caveat here is that when you withdraw the $60,000 from your RSP to put a down payment on your home, yes, you don't pay any tax, but you need to pay back over 15 years the money back into the RSP. And every year they ask you to put 1/15, 15 years, 1/15 of the $60,000 back, or whatever you borrowed, back into the RSP. If you don't, it's considered income, and your income will rise by the amount you didn't pay back. The second thing you can do is you have a lifelong learning plan where if you want to go to university and get an MBA or undergrad or whatever you want to do, you can borrow from your RSP or withdraw from your RSP tax free. Same thing, repay within 10 years, and you can go to school using your RRSP. So a lot of the MBA programs that are out there, we're saying, hey, you can use your RSP money to pay for the MBA or certificate, depending on if it qualifies for the
Oh, so
lifelong
that's
learning.
maybe that's one of the reasons maybe we see all these ads for MBA programs,
Correct.
okay.
So those two are two ways to avoid the withholding tax to get the money out.
All right.
One of the things that people don't really understand is that if you have a spouse, my wife was a stay-at-home mom for 8 years, and I was out there, flying to Texas and freaking California and Seattle doing my thing for business in tech before I started doing what I'm doing now. But I had a spousal RSP, so I would have an RSP for me, and I would have an RSP for her. But because the RSP was a spousal RSP, I got the tax deduction because she had nothing to deduct. She had no income. So I maxed out my RSP and maxed out her spousal RSP, and I got 2 RSPs going against my taxes, which is good for me, but the RSP is in her name. So should she ever dash me away, it's her money. I can't say, thank you for the tax deduction, and now I want my RSP back. Spousal RSP is hers. So you got to really love the person you're with, and I love my wife. So I'm going to stick with her, and she can have that spousal RSP, but I put every penny into that spousal RSP. She didn't put a dime in, but I got the tax deduction, and she now has a retirement plan because of the spousal RSP program.
Just listen to what Wayne just said, family. I'm going to stay quiet for like 5 seconds to just think about that, because again, people who know me, I say the greatest challenge we have with people who look like us is the family. So when you have a stable family, it makes life, not only everyday life, but financial life, so much easier. I'll go back to some comments here. The Macmillan Group says, great advice, Wayne. We have to learn to use the credit cards to our advantage. Haven't paid for an airline ticket in a while now. There you go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? Fitness IQ Cam says RSP, home education, or if you're in desperate need before 71. I think she's talking about withdrawals.
Yeah.
Mignon Cam says lifelong learner plan. Elemental Notes says, to answer your question, you are both looking like fine wine, getting better with age. We receive that.
You're a good woman. You're a good woman. I appreciate you.
And
Thank you.
And Elemental Note says, Wayne, this is a great way to look at credit, loyalty points, etc. How do you make it work for you instead of getting sucked into a debt trap many do? Thank you.
Yeah, good question. I think that for some people, reducing the amount of trouble you can get into. So no matter if you qualify for $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 on a card because you're balling out, you can just put a $5,000 limit on that card. So the most trouble you can get into is $5,000 if you don't trust yourself. Here's the other thing. When you have a credit card, you do not want to have more than 30% utilization on the card. So on a $5,000 card, you don't want to have the limit. You don't want to have the balance being more than $1,500, and your credit score will not drop. So if you pay it on time or you pay it early, you don't go over 30% utilization, your credit will stay in the 800s for as long as you are alive and doing your thing. As soon as you go above 1,500, your score is going to drop. As soon as you come late with a payment, your score is going to drop. Okay, so you want to make sure you keep it under 30% utilization, and you want to pay it off in full at the end of the month to avoid any of the fees. If you can't pay it off in full, pay at least twice the minimum payment, so you can at least dent. You can at least dent the balance, because if you pay the minimum balance, the balance is going to be the same next month because the interest rate is so high. And get rid of any card. Like I had department store credit cards back in the day because they were offering the cards for free, and if you did that, you got a piece of glass or a piece of something free. And I didn't know anything about credit. I was getting credit cards all over the place because I thought it was a flex to have a lot of credit cards. But then you wanted to buy a house, they said, no, you could get yourself in so much trouble because they don't look at what you are spending on the card. All the cards could be zero, but they know you could put yourself in $100,000 of problems in 24 hours, and they won't get their money for the mortgage. So they're like, hey, you need to pump your brakes on having too much credit. I believe you should have one Visa card. Pick whatever Visa card you want, and you want to have one MasterCard, because every now and then, for some reason, those networks go down, usually because of hackers. So when Visa is down and all you have is a Visa card, you're done, right? I remember, what was it? Somebody went down. Was it Rogers?
Visa. Well,
Visa
a few years ago, yeah, Rogers Cable Network went down for a few days. Yep.
Rogers went down, and buddy, if you didn't have cash, your internet was done.
Yep.
Right? You can pay bills online. So I had to go physically to an ATM on my way to Montreal in Cobourg and pull out $500 because I didn't know when this thing was going to come back and whether I would be able to get money and do transactions over the network. So one Visa card, again, if you can get a card with no fee, it'll have no benefits, but it'll have no fee, but it's credit, so it will build your credit so you will have a high credit score. But if you want a card, a loyalty card, an affinity card, you can go do that. Just try to pay the bill off in full. If you can't pay it off in full, try to double the minimum payment, and you're good to go. One Visa, one MasterCard.
That's a really good nugget you just dropped there. So Fitness IQ Cam says many fellows don't want to do that. I'll talk about the spousal RSP. Not all, but a good amount of spousal RSP. As she mentions also, it was Rogers that went down back in 2022.
Thank you.
Minion Cam says, but so many cards are becoming MasterCard, I'm seeing less Visa options.
Yeah, I mean, the only bank that offers MasterCard is BMO for the most part. Correct me if I'm wrong. All the other banks are Visas. So you have all the banks, plus you have the Capital Ones and all the other different third parties providers that will provide you with credit cards. So you really have to, like I said, 4 to 5 major banks offer Visa. Pick one. Plus there's all the different WestJets, Air Canadas, Rogers has a credit card, Costco has a MasterCard.
Yeah, everybody. Like
Canadian Tire has a MasterCard.
Yeah,
Pick and choose.
Yeah, exactly. The Godfather says department credit cards also pull your score down because many are issued by finance companies, which don't get the same FICO ranking as bank issued cards.
Right. So FICO is an American concept for your credit score, FICO scores. I'm not sure if they're in Canada as well. I know we kind of use the term cross-border, but FICO is mostly on the American side. But any you want to look at tier 1 lenders for credit cards. So tier 1 lenders to me are the big banks and the credit unions, right? And once you go beyond them, you're now going into third parties. Pick your third party wisely. So if you're going to go to Costco, Costco is probably tier 1, 2. WestJet, Air Canada, tier 1, 2, right? Canadian Tire, tier 1, 2. Once you start getting into a Joe's Take It or Leave It department store credit card, no. I wouldn't bother with those cards.
100%.
Because you have to watch how they're calculating the interest. You may think it's compounding annually. It might be compounding monthly. And compounding means that they're charging you interest, and they're calculating on the monthly balance, and they're charging you monthly rather than charging you annually. Read the fine print.
So what are some of the biggest mistakes from your lens people make when it comes to an RSP?
Great question. People think that the RSP is like they're shocked that they ask for $5,000 and they only get 4,500. They go, where's the other 500? It's called withholding tax. RSP is not for short-term savings. RSP is to be used when you retire. Now you retire when your expenses are here and your revenue from sources that don't require you to get out of bed is here. And if that happens at age 30, you can retire at 30. If that happens at age 60, it happens at age 60. If it happens at age 80, it happens at age 80. You want to have the expenses and you want to have the income and you want to have that gap without you having to get out of bed. This is the key. So I want people to know that if they want to retire, you just have to have your expenses in check and have revenue coming in that you don't have to get out of bed for, then you can retire. You don't have to retire 65 or 67 or 70. You retire when money is coming in sufficient enough to cover all your expenses without you having to get out of bed.
Okay.
That's
Sweater Man, thank you. All the best.
I'm out.
Always, all right. Happy African History Month to you, my brother.
Thank you. Same to you, and have a great weekend. I may see you at some of these galas with the gala cake.
No, I don't do no. That's a Gala King's jam. That's him a youth. He can go out and make himself nice and all that. Me gone.
All right.
Take
care.
All right, family. Another epic conversation. And again, just put it on the screen. This is how you can get a hold of Wayne. You can book him at wayneharrisconsulting.com. Email address wharris@harrismarketinggroup.net and Instagram at Wayne Harris Consulting. All right. Woo! We got Wayne for a good stretch today. Thank you so much for hanging by. All right, let's do some things to end it off. As always, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. I'm hoping I'm at 1,670. I haven't checked this week, but I will say getting a lot of great traction on YouTube Shorts this week. Lots of good traction. Join and also follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Email me at VIBE at the DR, VIBESHOW.com. Advertise on any of the platforms I'm a part of. Email me, VIBE at the DR, VIBESHOW.com. Coming up on Monday's show, Carolyn Nicole, certified holistic nutritionist from the Energy Shack Juice Bar. And we're going to be talking about how to have a healthy heart physically and mentally, because it is that Valentine's Day thing. And some more comments here. Dr. Tachi, great show. Well, I guess you enjoyed the two halves. You saw the beginning, you left, and then you came back. And also Elemental Notes, amazing chat. One of my goals today is to speak with Elemental Notes. She says, amazing chat. Thank you. Have missed not having our conversations, Elemental Notes. So good to have you here. All right. A few other things. Let's see. You can get a hold of Ryan. Website, RyanO'NeillKnight.com. That's KNIGHT. LinkedIn, Ryan O'Neill Knight. Instagram at ryan.knight99. Email, workwithme@ryanO'neillKnight.com. You can get hold of me. Website, the DRVIBESHOW.com. YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, The Dr. Vibe Show. Instagram at The Dr. Vibe Show. X, DRVIBESHOW. Email address, DR.VIBE at the DRVIBESHOW.com. I'm also on Blue Sky at DRVIBE.BSKY.social. There are two more conversation pieces. Mignon Cam says, yes, ODSB is my expertise, is my lived experience, and many people have no idea what they are talking about with it. And then Elemental Note says, let's do it. Yes, well, I'm going to reach out to you probably around noon hour or after 3 o'clock. So I'm looking forward to our conversation. All right. And you can catch replays of this epic conversation, The Morning Vibe, at the Dr. Vibe Show, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and Afro-Caribbean Business Network on Facebook, and Ryan O'Neill Knight on LinkedIn. All right, we've got it all done. I think there's another comment here. Elemental Note says, cool. Yes. Overdue. All right. This is how we end it. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history. Frequency event promotion just jumped in. Great weekend, everyone. Yes, if you're not making money, make history and make it better. And one last thing. Tomorrow, if you're watching this on Friday, primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lala, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific. Sunday, Black Canada Talking with Cesar, Nadima Musa, and myself at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, just before the Super Bowl. And then probably during the Super Bowl, Black Men Can Talk with myself, Paul Osborne, and Kofi Morris. God bless. Peace be all. Keep the faith. Walk good. Bye.
This whole thing of using your business with plant-based products, don't you think your life should reflect that too?
Juke him, Carolyn. Juke him. The family loves us here because they're saying Fitness IQ Can says put a wig on to get in.
Oh, God.
Oh my God.
Like the ideas are just coming fast and furious here this morning. What? Okay, look at this. Global Women Ambassador. Good morning. Look forward. Okay.